Hey everyone, and welcome to another Black and Corn Red Pill. Today we're discussing the male sexual hierarchy as a part of our social sexual marketplace series. I'm so excited. Let's get into it. What is the male sexual hierarchy? Where do you think you could be your man? And can you move up, and how? And who moves down when and how? So think about it. The high school football player is now pumping gas. The high school nerd is getting gas pumped into his Ferrari by the former high school football player while he's got an awesome girl on his shoulder. How does this happen? And as the ladies may be listening, well, which guy do you find yourself constantly encountering on this list? We know the ones that we want, but maybe which one's right for you? Do you find yourself chasing a certain type? Is a certain type chasing you? Let's get right into it. So, alpha positive. We all know this guy. He is your quintessential hero, your Captain America, Black Panthers, almost every character Denzel Washington ever plays. He is large and in charge, handsome, good-looking, tall, the CEO, owner of his company, the leader of the pack, the boss, but usually the leader. He's focused on his purpose. He's doing his own thing. Women do not run his life. He is a mindset of abundance, and he has the ability to choose the best woman for him to make his wife and to start his family and build his wealth. Alpha positive almost always does get married, even if he might wait a little longer than some other alpha positive males because he's secure, so he doesn't mind waiting until he's in his 30s or 40s to get married. He knows he needs a family because he's very in touch with everything it means to be masculine. Now, alpha negative. This is I call this the rain man, right? Mr. Make It Rain in the club. His core values are about money, material possessions, and just getting women. He's all about, objects, basic thoughts of power. He's maybe not as intelligent or as experienced as your alpha positive, and he just relies on his charisma, maybe his good looks to move forward in life to get everything he needs. He's more likely to be a celebrity, politician, your actor, the rock star musician who is a good musician, but is really just about getting laid and getting girls. This tends to be the high school jock who is now pumping gas, right? He's not thinking about his future. He's not really concerned about that. He's all about just YOLO, living in the moment. These are the fling boys that we ladies can't seem to stand. Now we are going on to our Sigmas. Now on the actual hierarchy, the Sigma is actually outside of the hierarchy. So even though he's usually described after the alphas, he's outside of the hierarchy itself. Because what signifies him as Sigma positive is pretty much all of the characters and traits of the alpha positive, but he's not interested in leading a pack. He's not interested in being a part of mainstream society. He's not trying to be the CEO of some bank. He is not trying to necessarily be the hot, Johnny Depp actor. Or if he is an actor, he's not really about that. Think you're Keanu Reeves as opposed to a Christian Bale. He's doing his own thing. So he's not necessarily trying to have a pack. But a lot of Sigmas end up becoming alphas if they're starting their own business or company, they end up building a pack around them and then they end up leading a pack. Something to consider. Sigma negative is similar to that, but his departure from society is usually pushed by a pain, hurt, or loss, or even a slight mental illness. He just kind of wants to sulk, lick his wounds, be left alone. Think you're Howard Hughes towards the end of his career, or his life, living in his mansion. Wolverine and you're Bruce Wayne towards the end of their careers, right? When Bruce Wayne or Batman, just took Catwoman, did his own thing, right, and left. So then we have the beta positives. These are the great worker bees of society. These men are content with doing the basic thing, doing what they're told, getting a good government job, go to college. They are maybe intelligent and experienced, but they might just lack some of that willpower, that direction, that opportunity. Sometimes these are guys that could have been alphas, but maybe they just weren't tall. They're not good looking. They're just not charming. And because of that, he's good. He might be a leader of sorts. He'll follow the system. He'll move up through the ranks. He's an employee. He's happy to surround the alpha male, hope to get something from them, that energy, get a good woman as his wife. He won't necessarily demand too much of her. He may not ask too many questions, and will probably just accept her as she is. So what, she put on weight, she's my wife. So what, sometimes she gets a little but she's my wife, you know. I don't mind, I'm in the doghouse, I had to sleep on the couch. That's okay, I love her. Beta negatives are almost the same as beta positives, but it's the negative outlook on their position. They might see themselves as being underappreciated alphas, even though they have done nothing to deserve that title. And they are jealous and critical of alphas and don't really want to give them credit, the alphas, the credit for what they actually have earned. And they're not really willing to improve themselves, but blames like the society for why he is where he is. As far as Black Americans, you know, it's the system, that's why y'all racist, y'all want our brothers succeed, and that's why you won't promote me. And it's just like, no, DeAndre, you have been late 4 times this month. That's why we're not going to promote you, DeAndre. If you would just come to work on time, you would get a promotion, right? So think about that. So Gamma positive is a bit similar to the Sigma positive. Gamma positive is a man who's really all about his passion. He has found his purpose relatively early in life, and he's pursuing it, and he's just 100% in his purpose. So he's not trying to lead anybody, not really trying to lead any team, unless that's part of his purpose, like a scientist. These are your scientists, your artists, your musicians, philosophers. They completely disregard society, but at the same time, hey, you know, they'll get a Pulitzer Prize. They don't mind getting a Nobel Prize. They're still going to write their book, submit their dissertation, because that's their passion. And so they may or may not, you know, they might meet some lady and yeah, I'll marry you and we'll have a family, because in our olden days, every man did this just about. You kind of had to. I would say Neil deGrasse Tyson is a really good example of this among our brothers. He's all about his craft and his field. He is married, he has a wife, but I don't know if he would see himself as being more like an alpha in that regard. And definitely not Sigma. He's not trying to do his entire own thing. But I would gander that Neil deGrasse Tyson isn't really that worried about society. He's just genius and good at what he does, which is why he's a household name. Gamma negatives are walking contradictions. He wants to distance himself from society, but only because within his social group that's cool. So amongst the pale ones, that's like hippies, hipsters, goths. The extremes from extremist groups like not neo-Nazis. Within our community, he's like the Rastafari, that Hotep goon that makes us now use that term as a almost derogatory term, right? The kind of goons of the Hebrew Israelites. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm not denigrating Rastafari, people who are pro-Black and who study Kemetic history, or the Hebrew Israelites, but you all know the brother I'm talking about. He is always preaching. He's more about adopting a subculture, and then that's within the dominant culture than trying to actually leave the dominant culture on the whole, right? He is, you really can't grasp red pill concepts, and when it comes to women, and usually will kind of check out of the dating game because he just can't. But he really just preaches on his hatred and what he doesn't like. You think of the Rastafari, you know, I know Rastafari who are just like, yeah, Rastafari, how are you, right? Yeah, it's Christmas time, you know, Rastafari, we don't do that, it's a pagan holiday, but yeah, man, yeah, what's good? We have dinner, man, you have Italian food? Yeah, Italian, what's good? We're good. Make man bring this too. Right? But then there's the other brother who's like, nah, man, nah, Christmas pagan holiday, it's a pagan ritual, man. The Bible say you not cut the tree and put on the house, and now we on this and we have to do that. And you're just like, come on, man, can you just come over and have some dinner? We're gonna have Italian for you. Nah, man, pagan holiday. Alright, bye. We ain't trying to talk to you. Delta positive are similar to beta positive, but they just have like no ambition for success. This is like your bus driver, you know, your janitor or maintenance man, the teacher, the postal worker. And not to say there's anything wrong with that. These guys they just kind of browse through life. When they come home, they watch TV. They tend to be thick around the middle, right? Because they just mediocre. They're okay with being mediocre. You don't really seem to have, you may have some passions and some hobbies, but a lot of times just around like possessions, collecting things, you know, can collections, stamp collections. Delta negative is similar to Delta positive, but he seems to have like no social skills. He has no problem spending more money than he even really has in his budget for what makes him happy, like pleasing himself. And he really has like no long-term planning, no well-being. He doesn't talk to anybody. He's easily led into trends. So goes to the 7-Eleven and gets the latest drink or ultra complicated beverage from Starbucks because that's what's the latest trend. There's no ambition or drive. Now, Omega Positive lacks all of the traits of the higher guys. He just cannot seem to operate under pressure and just fear social interaction. They'll give into the desires, and they will just generally not be able to maintain a lifestyle on their own. This is the eternal roommate at the best. Usually that guy, 40-year-old guy in his mom's basement. Shut-ins. But they're also aware that the things that they like are kind of weird. So he knows of his poor decisions and his failures, and he does hope one day to have the ambition to do better. This may be an involuntary celibate, or incel as they're called, or maybe he just had that, one chance when he was younger, that one girl, and just, lost her. But usually they're complete shut-ins. The thing is, unlike the Omega Negative, they do potentially have that ability to do better on their own. Think your 40-year-old virgin in that movie, right? He was an Omega Positive. No woman's coming near him. No woman's trying to touch him. He's working some menial job. Bottom of his social circle. The nerd, the dweeb. But he did have some social skills, but they were horrible. And every social situation he was in, it was just failure, right? So the Omega Negative is like the Omega Positive, but he thinks there's nothing wrong with what he does. He thinks it's totally normal and happy and comfortable. Living in his mom's basement, being, whatever kind of weirdo guy, and totally emotionally unbalanced, inept, emotionally childish, oblivious, and completely beyond redemption. And because he's on the negative side of this, he might even be wondering why he's having problems. So when these guys get really angry, these can become the incels who shoot up parks or commit suicide. Now we've gone through this list. Where are you on this list? Where is your man? Everybody wants to be alpha. To an extent, it's better to be a beta positive than an alpha negative. What separates a lot of the negative from the positives on this list is misplaced femininity. A lot of the negatives will be focusing on collecting things, too much shopping, overly emotional. I met a sister who said she's been to parties with Lil Wayne and Drake. I've never been to a party with any of these guys. I haven't been to any concerts. They don't know who I am. She says Lil Wayne, he has to be the center of attention. Goofball, whatever he has to do to get all the attention, all eyes on me. He's alpha negative to the T, just about. He's make it rain. There, Mr. Rain Man. Alright, always make it rain. If you got money and show it, take out your pocket, show it and throw it like this way, that way. I know that's T-Pain's line in Lil Wayne's song, but you get my point. Drake, on the other hand, apparently, is quiet, subdued. He's chill. He's in the corner. He's talking to a couple people. And if you walk up to him, he'll talk to you and be respectful and nice. He's a sweet, nice guy for the most part. So something to think about. So maybe Drake is more, I might say beta positive or alpha positive. Money doesn't make you an alpha. It's confidence and your go-get-itness and your lead. Drake seems to be featured on more people's songs than he seems to be leading his own songs. Songs with Drake in it that's gotten on the charts, has made him famous. He has been a featured artist in more of them than he has been the lead artist, which suggests the beta-ness of him. You can be a wealthy living beta, like a Bruno Mars. at the moment seems, you know, his last album, 24 Karat, sounds more like alpha negative talk, right? All the money he has and the fame and the cars. Even though he does songs, but like, I don't care about that. I'd rather have you. Regardless, hopefully you all getting these points here. That's what makes the negative versus positive. But what moves you up the list is confidence. What you base your confidence on. So when you base your confidence on your looks, on the money you have, on the cars you have, power you have, that is dependent. It is a dependent form of confidence, which is to an extent a bit more feminine for a man to do. So I want to first thank everybody for your patience. This was a long one. I'm going to break down each and every single one of these levels, the alphas, sigmas, betas, gammas, deltas, and omegas. I'm going to break them down in separate videos so we can discuss. This was meant to be an overview video so you guys can get a general idea of his hierarchy. The 80-20 rule, which states that 80% of the girls are going to try to get alpha males. And when we get into, we're going to discuss the next hierarchy, and you'll see which, who these girls are. And if you're a lady, figure out where you are. But if you're a lady, and let's say you're married, and you realize you're married to like a beta male, try to introduce him to the red pill concept. Hope he alphas up a bit. But if he loves you, he respects you, and he treats you right, sis, stick with him. Okay? Stick with him. Raise your son to be an alpha male. Worry about the future. Okay? What are your thoughts about this hierarchy as I broke things down? Does it make sense to you? Is it confusing? Am I completely full of it? Do stick around for our next video. Please subscribe and stick around so you can learn about the women's side. And again, just comment. Please subscribe. Let me know what you think so we can get into this more.